Dragons.
Hi guys! So, I kept calling the dinosaur a dragon the last time I was making the tutorial, and it got me thinking that maybe we should actually do a Dragon Expansion Pack. So the best way to turn a dinosaur into a dragon that I know of is to give him teeth and to give him wings. So I've made a couple here. This is Iris, and Iris is the dragon, or is the dinosaur tutorial that we made last week, but he's got little sharp teeth and little fluffy white wings. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make little wings and little teeth to add to your dinosaur to make him a big ferocious dragon. And I know several little people who would like to have a little ferocious dragon in their lives. So the guy who's going to get the upgrade today is this darling little blue thing here with the super pink mohawk. And we're just going to jump right in. So let's go. Okay guys, so this is really short, really simple, and you only need a scrap of everything. To make this guy a pair of teeth and some wings, you need scissors, you need a yarn needle, you need your favorite crochet hook. Because it's tiny work, I'm using a 4.25 millimeter. This is the hook that I used to make this little guy in the first place, so it sort of keeps some consistency. But depending on the size of your yarn, you're going to want to change your hook to match. And the yarn, you need literally a scrap of whatever wing and teeth color you might want. Now you can make your teeth white or yellow or any color you want. You can make the wings different colors. I've got a little one that I made with blue wings I'll show you at the end. And you make two of everything. So you make two teeth and you make two wings. And that's it. So here we go. We're going to start with the tooth. It's so quick. Pay attention. So you chain 3. So you make your slip stitch, or your slip knot, I should say. You chain 3. 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 chains. Into the second chain from the hook, you slip stitch. And into the next chain, or the last chain, you single crochet. Then you cut your yarn, just enough for sewing on a tooth, which won't be very much, and fasten off. Boom, 1 tooth. And I've already made my second tooth, and so we'll put those on at the end. There, teeth, done. Now we're going to do the wing. The wing's a little more complicated. You start very much the same way as the tooth. So you make a slip knot, and you chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you've chained 7. Into the next chain, so the second chain from the hook, you're going to slip stitch. There you go. Now, you're going to chain 2 more. 1, 2. Into the second chain from the hook, you're going to slip stitch. You're going to chain 2 more. 1, 2. Into the second chain from the hook, you're going to slip stitch. And all the way back to the first chain that you slip stitched into, you're going to slip stitch into that chain again. And that creates this cool little fleur-de-lis or triangle at the end of your wing. Into the next chain, you're going to slip stitch. And into the next chain, you're going to slip stitch. And then you're going to repeat that motif. So now you're going to chain 2. 1, 2. Slip stitch into the second chain from the hook. chain 2, 1, 2, slip stitch into the second chain from the hook, chain 2, 1, 2, slip stitch into the second chain from the hook, and go all the way back to your first chain in that row and slip stitch back into it. There's a second fleur-de-lis you made. You're going to slip stitch into the next chain on that first foundation row, and again into the next one, and you're going to do that motif all over again. So we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, slip stitch back into the second chain from the hook, chain 2, 1, 2, slip stitch into that second chain, chain 2, 1, 2, slip stitch back into that second chain, identify your first chain that you slip stitched into in that little motif, slip stitch into that, slip stitch into the last chain on that foundation row, chain 1, so you're all the way back at the beginning, and now the last thing you're going to do is chain through the back side of your foundation row all the way to the end. And we do that by just stick it in any old place. You'll probably get about six slip stitches all the way back here. So don't worry about it being absolutely perfect. You know we're not absolutely perfect here. Just all the way back. If you get 7, great. If you only get 6, it's not the end of the world. Just try to make sure that your other wing matches it. Now you're going to cut a length so that you can sew it on and fasten off. There you go. Now go ahead and make a second wing. I've already made my 2 wings, and I've got my 2 teeth. And to save a little time today, and because I don't want to stomp on your creativity, I'm going to demonstrate that if you sew your teeth in, you should try and sew them in below the mouth line that you put on your dinosaur, just because it kind of looks like they're hanging out of his top lip. But you can put them anywhere you want. I usually put them both right up front, but you guys could also make a whole mouth of teeth and have them just all the way along his mouth line, like he's got too many teeth that he doesn't know what to do with. The wings are a little different, so I'm going to demonstrate putting on one of the wings. So you take your yarn needle and you thread up your tail, and you pick a spot, let's say right there along his shoulder blade, and you just start sewing it on. So you pick up some stitches off the back of your dinosaur, who is about to become a dragon. And just sew that flat side of your new wing down all the way along. And it's a little tricky because you're kind of trying to keep the mohawk there out of the way, but just be patient. Now, if you know the little person or whomever who is getting this toy, make sure that you sew on all of your parts accordingly. So if you've got a rambunctious 2-year-old, you want to make sure that everything's sewn down nice and tight. But if you're giving it to, say, a tween or a teenager or somebody who just loves cute things, you know you don't have to be quite as firm with your stitching. I'm just going to go back up the same way that I came down, just to make sure that it's on there good and tight. I don't want this little guy's wings to fly off on him. And I'm just going to get my cameraman to go get me Iris, the dragon, so I can demonstrate something. Thank you, sir. All right. Once you've put your wing on, you're just going to knot it down, or, because you're putting on 2 wings, pull your tail out to the bottom, and when you put your other wing on, bring your tail out the same place. And when he's all done, he looks like that. See, I've buried the two wings, the tie-ons, down underneath the mohawk. Now, if you want, you could probably, if you knew you were going to do this from the start, you could make a dinosaur, put his wings on, and then put his mohawk on, and then you wouldn't really have to worry about it being in the way, but it's entirely up to you. So, and you'll notice I put his teeth kind of up front. But like I said, you could make 5 and just stick them in all the place. Anyway, that is how you turn your dinosaur into a dragon. Well, there you go. One dinosaur turned into a dragon. Simple, a little bit of surgery. I demonstrated how to put his wings on. Putting in his teeth is really, really simple, so I didn't demonstrate that just because I figured, you know, you guys can decide where you want to put it. You've got 2 little strings left from the actual sewing or the crocheting of it. Just use those strings to sew them in. I've only put 2 or 3 stitches in underneath his lip because I didn't want to make the teeth like stiff and stick out. But, and then remember to always knot your work and just pull your ends back into the body of your work. So in this case, I just pulled them back into his head. But his little teeth are there, his little wings are back here, and he is ready to fly off into somebody's dreams. So there you go. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comments below. If you have suggestions, let me know because I love them. And stay tuned. We've got more goofy stuff on the way. I love this crafty adventure, and I'm really, really, really thankful that you guys have all come along with us on this journey. So stay tuned. Anyway, guys, we'll talk to you really soon. Have a great few days until we catch up next time and stitch something else up together. Okay? Bye!